For this exercise, we will investigate how to write a while loop in C. Future exercises, we will investigate the do while loop, and the next one will be a for loop. So now let's stay focused on a while loop. Let's say this is my main function. Right now, if I compile and run this, it will simply say press any key to continue, as seen here. So nothing much in terms of logic or any special instructions. Now, we would like to see a loop in action. What do we mean by loop? That means we want to see some code or some instructions run several times in a controlled manner. And controlled manner means you have to control how many times do you expect that set of code to run. There are a couple ways to look at this. Either you know exactly how many times you're going to iterate, or you don't, which means at runtime, you may iterate once, maybe twice, 3 times, 10 times, a million times. A while loop structure in C offers you that ability where you can decide when to end the loop. But to set it up in terms of code, there are 3 things you need to worry about. So let me enumerate these. The first one, you need, before you do a loop, you need to have a variable that controls the loop, since your loop is conditional, is based on some condition. So what you want to do is what we call prime the loop. So you need some value that will make the condition for the loop true. And then you will have the loop condition right here. So that means we want a value for some variable where the loop condition will be true. And then within the loop, okay, you need some sort of a loop control. Otherwise, your loop might go forever. So the idea is you need to have these 3 items. Okay, well, now let's fill in the blanks. Let's say my loop is based on some variable called choice. So I'm going to have int choice, and I'm going to make it equal to 0. And as long as the choice is 0, I can loop. So while choice equals 0, which means this condition will be true. And how did that happen? That's because you primed the loop. You assigned an actual 0 before you ask the question, right? Is the choice 0? And indeed it is, which means now you're going to enter into the loop body. Okay, and within the loop body, you're going to need some sort of loop control. So everything you're having between these 2 curly braces is what we call the loop body. So maybe I would have something like this. Go ahead and print what choice looks like. So, so probably printf, the value for choice equals %d /n, and then choice. Now, if I run this program as it stands, it will run forever. That is because you don't have anything under the loop control to tell it when to stop. Because at any given time within the loop body, you haven't done anything to choice to change its value to anything but 0. All right, let's prove the point. So let me compile and run this. And there you have it. So now what we have is an infinite loop. Okay? Right? So the famous infinite loop. So we want to get rid of that. So Control C to get out. So under loop control, what you need is something to set choice to anything but 0. Well, let's give that to let's give that control over to the user at runtime for now. So maybe something like this, printf enter a new value for choice to exit the loop, else enter 0. Okay, so if you want to stay in the loop, fine. You're going to enter 0. And we're going to do a scanf, and that would be a %d and %choice. So now you have control over how this loop will behave. Okay, well, let's see how it works. So I'm going to compile and run. Okay, so notice now it's asking me enter a new value for choice to exit the loop, else enter 0. Well, I'm going to enter 0, okay? You come back, you're 0. Obviously, the loop, the condition for the loop always comes out to be true. Well, let's say I enter 1 this time. And there you have it. I'm at the end of the loop. I'm out. So I'm back where it says press any key to continue, which is really, it's calling the function system and passing along the value pause to hold the screen. And there you have it. So that's the basics of how a while structure works in C. So again, you need to prime the loop, so that way you make sure that the loop condition initially is true, so you can enter the loop body. Within the loop body, you need to control the loop to be able to exit. Otherwise, you end up with an infinite loop. Hopefully this was instructional. So the next video, I'm going to do more examples of how to use the while loop before we get into the do while loop and for loops.